In this video, I'm going to take you through all the steps that you need to do to complete the assignment for today. So the first thing is, in order to do this Earsketch assignment, you have to have the logic assignment we did last week completed. So if your logic assignment from last week is not completed, the first thing you need to do is complete that assignment. So if you go back to the week of September 19th, create and record a harmony track in Logic. That is the assignment, and there is a video linked there to show you how to do the assignment. So if that assignment is not done, that's the first thing that you need to do. Now, the second thing that you need to do, if that assignment is completed, is you need to open that assignment in Logic Pro. So from here, a couple of things we need to take a look at. First of all, if you look on your desktop, you were supposed to export an audio file of the harmony track that you created for this assignment. Check the desktop to make sure that audio file is there. The next thing is look at the extension, the file extension. That's what comes after the dot. If you save this as an AIF file, that is an audio file, that's a Mac file. We're going to need that audio file for Earsketch, and Earsketch is not going to want to upload that. So you want to make sure that this is a WAV file or a .wav. If this is not a WAV file, what you're going to do is you're going to hold down the Control key, click on the region that you created last week, find Export, choose Export as audio file, and then in this window, for the save format, you want to make sure that you've selected WAV, not AIFF or CAF, but WAV. Then make sure you save it to your desktop and then give it a name. I've called this one harmony_01_112. Now, let me explain that number before we go on. The 112 is the tempo, and even if you already have this as a WAV file, you need to check this in the Logic file and see what the tempo is for this track. You're going to find that here where it says 112. That's where the tempo appears. That number is really important. So I included that in the name of my file, harmony_01_112. And then I'm going to export. Now, once I do that, I should now see that I have a WAV file on my desktop that I can use. So once that's done and I remember what the tempo is, now you can quit Logic. So the next thing is from Google Classroom, you're going to click on the link that I provided for the assignment that's going to take you to Earsketch. And that assignment should look something like this. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to import the audio file that you created in Logic into Earsketch. Anything that you create in any DAW, whether it's Logic, GarageBand, Soundtrap, you can export those regions as audio files. Once you have it as an audio file, you can upload that into Earsketch. And so some things, particularly like harmony tracks and melody tracks, I think are much easier to create in Logic or Soundtrap. So that's what we did. You created a harmony track in Logic, and now we're going to use this in Earsketch. So to do that, if you look over in your sound library, you should see a black button that says Add Sound. So click on that button first, and then in the window that pops up, you want to click where it says Choose a File. The file I'm going to choose is this Harmony 011112, so I can select that and open. And then here you're going to give it a name. In this box where it says tempo, this is important. So if you remember from Logic, this is why I put it in the title. The tempo for this track is 112. So I'm going to enter that number there, and then I'm going to upload. Once you do that, if you come over and you click where it says Artist, and you may need to click on this arrow to expand it, but if you look, you should see your username that you have for Earsketch appear under Artist. And then at the very bottom of the column, you're going to see the audio file that you uploaded. So once you have your audio file uploaded, now you're ready to start the assignment. In this assignment, the first thing you're going to do is take your harmony track and you're going to use Fit Media to play that track for 8 bars. So down on line 22, I'm going to click there and I'm going to type the function fit media, parentheses. Then come over to the loop library, find the audio file that you uploaded, and click on the blue clipboard. Now that's going to be your audio file, then a comma. Next, I tell it where to put the media, which is going to be track number 1, comma. Then I'm going to tell it where to start the media, which is going to be bar 1, comma. And then the last thing is I'm going to tell it where I want it to stop. And I want it to stop when it gets to bar 9. So I'll put a 9. Now, the next thing that's important is that I come up to set tempo and I change the tempo to 112 so it matches the tempo of the audio. Then click run. If you've done all this correctly, you should see your region, your audio region, play for 8 bars. Now, remember, as you go through the video, at any time, you can pause the video, go back and rewatch a segment, or pause the video, complete the steps, and then come back for the next part in the video. So once you get your audio region playing for 8 bars, the next thing you're going to do is you're going to use the for loops that we talked about the for measure that we talked about yesterday to add these instrument samples and beat strings to your harmony track. So to do this, you're going to come down to line 25 and click. You're going to type for measure in range, parentheses, the number 8, and then after the parentheses, add a colon. Colon's really important. If you don't have it there, it's not going to work. Then press your return key. Notice when you do that, it automatically indents the next line. Anything that follows a function that ends with a colon is going to need to be indented on the line that follows. So now I'm going to use my make beat function, or what we call a command. And then if you look up to line 10, the variable I'm going to use is kick, comma. I want to put this on track 2, so I'm going to enter a 2, comma. Now, this next part's important. It's a little different. What I'm going to type here is measure plus 1, comma. And then the last thing I'm going to add is the variable for the beat string, which if you look at line 16, the variable for the kick beat string is kick 1. So I'm going to type kick 1. Now, if I've done all this correctly and you click run, then you should now see your kick that runs for 8 bars underneath your track. Now, what we're doing when we enter this as measure plus 1, this for measure in range 8 creates a loop in the code, which means the computer is going to execute this command over and over again until it reaches the number 8. And the way it knows that it reaches 8 is it's counting the bars that it plays. So the computer always starts with 0. So 0 plus 1 equals 1. Then the measure becomes 1. So 1 plus 1 is 2. So now it's measure 2 plus 1 is 3. 3 plus 1 is 4. 4 plus 1 is 5. 5 plus 1 is 6. 6 plus 1 is 7. 7 plus 1 is 8. And then it stops the loop. So make sure you get this working first. Once you have this completed, at the end of line 26, hit return again. Now we're going to add the snare. So again, make beat, parentheses, the variable for the snare is on line 11, which is just snare, comma. I'm going to put this on track 3, comma, measure plus 1, comma, and then the variable for the snare string on line 17. Snare 1. I'm going to run again, and now I've added another track with the snare drum. Finally, I'm going to go to the end of line 27, hit return. Again, make beat, parentheses. Now I'm going to use the variable on line 12, hi-hat. So hi-hat, comma. I'm going to put this on track 4, comma. Then I'm going to put my measure +1, comma. And the variable for the beat string for the hi-hat is hi-hat 1. So I'm going to type hi-hat 1. Then run. So now I have 4 tracks. So I have an 8-bar phrase for a harmony track and then a drum beat to go along with it. Now, if you look now on line 30, it says use the 4-measure in range with 3 arguments, meaning there are going to be 3 numbers inside the parentheses to create a 1-bar fill that plays in bars 4 and bar 8 of the phrase. So I'm going to come to line 31, and in line 31 I'm going to type 4 measure in range parentheses. Now here the first number I'm going to put is where I want it to start the command. So I want this to play for the first time in bar 4. So the bar that I want it to start is bar 4. So I'm going to type the number 4 and then a comma. The next piece of information I need to provide is where do I want it to end. And I want it to stop when it gets to bar 9. So the next number I'm going to enter is 9. Now, the next part of this is I only want this to play in bar 4 and bar 8. So I don't want it to play in bars 5, 6, or 7. So what I'm going to put as the last number is once it runs the command here, I want it to wait 4 measures before it does it again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it's going to do it again at bar 8. So for this last number, I'm going to type a 4. After the parentheses, I'm going to add my colon, return. Then make beat, parentheses. Now I'm going to use the variable at line 13, which is Tom, comma. I'm going to put this on track 5, comma. Then I'm just going to type measure because I don't want the computer to count through how many times it does it. I just want it to start at bar 4, end at bar 9, and wait 4 bars before it does the command. So the last thing I need is the variable for the beat string, which is Tom1. So I'm going to type in Tom1 and run. So if I've done this correctly, then you should have 5 tracks, and on the 5th track you have this fill that happens just in bar 4 and just bar 8. If you've gotten this to run successfully, the next thing you need to do is copy the link to your code. To do that, you click on the black button that says share, and then you click on the clipboard to copy the link. Once you have this link copied, you're going to paste the link by holding the command key and typing the letter V into the Google form provided with the assignment. Make sure you include your name and the class period, and then click submit. Once you have that finished, you can go to the next video where I will show you how to do the next part of this assignment.